What's going on there, guys? Good morning, good afternoon to some out there. It's the Earthmaster here on this Monday, November 7th, 2022 date. It's about 10:33 a.m. California time here, and latest quake shows a 4.5 earthquake down into the Kermadec Trench, about 510 kilometers deep along this area of the plate boundary. A pretty deep earthquake there, 4.5. It actually kind of looks like it's between the Tonga and the Kermadec Trench, but this area definitely kicking up a little bit this morning time frame. We also seen some activity overnight around the Java Trench and throughout the Indonesia area. A little bit of movement outside Papua New Guinea as well, and also the West Coast did see some movement late last night, and a little bit of inward North American plate activity here towards the Texas area. Let's go ahead and check out the latest activity here. We'll start off here in Southern California. We were watching a swarm of earthquake activity in the Baja California region overnight. I had about 5 earthquakes or so. I'm sure there's probably a little bit more on the smaller magnitude, but so far USGS reporting 5 of them with a 4.1, the largest in this little cluster of activity. The magnitudes were going up for a little bit, so kind of issued an earthquake watch out here for the SoCal area. We'll keep that up for the remainder of the day as we've seen some activity throughout the Imperial Fault here, down just south of the border. And also things just kind of lighten up within the last hour outside of Riverside. 2.2 at 14 kilometers deep, and also another earthquake here at 1.1 near the San Jacinto Mountains along the San Jacinto Fault Zone here. There's a couple different segments, and those definitely showing some activity today. On the San Andreas Fault itself, we did see another earthquake early this morning, about 4 o'clock, 1.0, right smack dab on it. So I think it's noteworthy to leave up the watch here for today for Southern California. The Calpine hydrothermal operations are pretty busy today. A lot of earthquakes popping up here around the Cobb Mountain hydrothermal fields. And let's ignore that real quick. Earthquake activity definitely been ramping up here over the past couple days. The latest quake shows a 2.3 right next to one of those power plants. There in the Clear Lake volcanic field, they're injecting raw sewage below into the heated material. Not for sure how far below, but using that process to create energy. There's probably a good, I don't know, I'm thinking about 10 or more of these facilities out here, and they have these little operations all over the place where they just inject that sewage into heated material below to create energy for the folks in the Bay Area. A couple earthquakes outside of Lake Pillsbury, some of that activity kicking up. Yeah, most of it looks like it was from yesterday. Didn't see anything overnight. This was a little swarm of activity with a 3.8, the largest in that cluster. The rest of Northern California, pretty spotty. Oregon and Washington, about the same. Into Idaho, we did see some activity last night, 3.6, and it looks like we've seen a 2.0 as well, following that little larger one from yesterday, right there on the Stanley, Idaho area. Throughout, that plane's flying awfully low. Throughout the Yellowstone area, let's go ahead and check out the Yellowstone overview here real quick and see what we got for the raw data. There's the earthquakes over in the Idaho area. Notice that's being picked up much stronger over here around the northwest corner of Yellowstone National Park. That's going to be the 3-pointer, and I believe that's going to be the 2-pointer in that area of Idaho. Showing up on the Wyoming stations. Yes, it does do that. As far as local seismic activity goes, there's a couple spikes here on the map, and some other very small ones within the past few hours here at Yellowstone National Park. Aside from that, I don't see any migration of swarms, any major intense activity going on there at Yellowstone, just some activity. Looks like the USGS is listing some of it up there on the map. All right, let's see what else we got here. One out in Texas. Outside of Pecos, Texas, a 3.6. That one coming in a couple hours ago today, this morning time frame. Very typical area to see activity. And there's definitely quite a bit of pumping operations out here in the desert as well. Kind of have to zoom in to see them. It's going to be these little boxes out here with some swimming pools. Not really swimming pools, but they're little ponds, little wastewater injection ponds. And the process is kind of interesting how that works out. But also at the same time, it creates these weak areas out here along the North American continent here, and also could trigger some old fault systems around the region. So we see these earthquakes. Oklahoma definitely lighting up today. It looks like quite a bit of earthquake activity outside of the OKC area as well. See what we got outside of the Union City region. And I can already tell there's a few of those operations out here as well. Looking at a couple right here and over here. Most of the time, if these are farmhouses, it's not going to look like that. They're not going to have tanks. And this is a very well-defined one right here. And over here as well. So that 1.4 looks like that struck really close to one of those oil pumping operations. A couple of those did. All right, let's see. Back out. Let's back out here. Missouri, is this a new one or an old one? This is the older one from yesterday. No further activity noted here across the New Madrid zone or the eastern coast of the states. Everything looks pretty calm for now. We're getting a little cluster of quakes outside the Puerto Rico Trench area. Now this area is kind of a hazardous area for some potential mega quake activity. There's a little bit of information on this trench throughout the internet if you check it out. I've done a couple videos as well. Maybe we'll include the Puerto Rico Trench investigation as a up next on the YouTube channel here. So look for that at the end of this video. But a little bit of I was going to say tremor, but this ain't tremor. There's earthquake activity, some of it stretching up into the 4.0 range. And the depths of these earthquakes all over the place. So kind of watching that pretty closely. I believe that one there is capable of producing a very large earthquake. All right, and some activity down here along the southwestern edge of Puerto Rico. A couple different troughs and trenches surrounding the Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic areas. This area definitely a hazard for earthquakes. South America not showing anything up here right now on the USGS map. On the globe here, we are looking at some 2s down there. But even then, this is kind of a little on the spotty side for earthquake activity. Very quiet today for the South America region. There's that earthquake there into the... kind of looks like it's a Kermadec Trench area. Maybe a split in between there. Either way, 4.5, 510 kilometers deep. Ooh, that's way down there. So following this deep activity, a couple areas to watch. Specifically upstream along the locked areas where all the strain tends to build. That would include areas around the Kermadec Trench, Tonga Trench. But also at the same time, when we get that deeper movement quake below, it does put a lot of pressure in the west-northwest direction here that the plate energy tends to transfer to. Got to remember the Pacific plate here moves off towards the west-northwest fashion. And going to watch these areas up around here today following that deeper movement. A lot of older activity here from last night. Nothing new. The last one was at about 9 o'clock my time last night in the Philippines, a 5.2. About 40 kilometers deep. So not a whole lot of new movement kicking up there. Up north into the Curl Kamachaka Trench. Got a pair of 5s kicking off here. One last night and one early this morning. 40 kilometers deep for the latest one. This is another area that we've been watching for some sufficient movement. Has not happened in a little while. And this area is prime for some larger earthquake movement. Eastern Afghanistan had an earthquake yesterday. Actually had a couple over there. Most of that activity older. That last one there from looks like earlier last night. Not a whole lot popping off here across the Mediterranean, but on the EMSC globe here, definitely seeing a little bit of swarming of activity across the region here of Greece and areas up to the north. There is a 4.5 in the Atlantic there. Let me see if the USGS is reporting that. They are not. Nada. They do not care to report earthquakes. Maybe when they want to, right? Well, it's not the weekend. It's morning time. A A little on the odd side. Either way, definitely got a little bit of movement kicking up out there in the Atlantic. Let's check out the EMSC model here. That's a little on the strange side. Are we going to work? There we go. It's really weird. Not for sure what's going on. Is this a puzzle piece or what? A little bit of earthquake activity out there. 4.5 just coming in, it looks like a little bit ago, near the Rick James Ridge. Got to watch that area, see if that continues to swarm or not. A lot of times we get those swarming areas up here in this area. That does tend to enhance volcanic activity up north around the Iceland area. South Sandwich Trench, that was from yesterday. See what else we got here. Alaska, I'm not going to skip Hawaii. I'm watching Hawaii down there. Alaska Anchorage area getting a little bit of activity today. Looks like near the Point McKenzie area of Alaska, 33 kilometers deep, and some movement outside of that area. Trident Volcano, looks like that area is starting to swarm. Looks like the majority of that was from yesterday there. Let's see what we got here for the Trident Volcano. I'm going to, let's see here, let's click on current here, and man, don't really see a whole lot. Past 24 hours, I believe that's the latest data. 11.5, actually no it's not, 11.5, 11.6. So let's see if I can find that latest information here. I mean, technically it should refresh here. Let's see. We click on Webby quarters. Unless they're always just a day behind. It's a little on the weird side here. There's 11.7. Okay, so this kind of looks like the latest data. Looks like there may be earthquake activity, but hidden in the seismic signatures of, looks like what could be wind up there. Don't really see a whole lot of earthquake activity unless you're kind of counting these red spikes here. But it's hard to tell when you're looking at these graphs. But USGS reporting them. The majority of these here from yesterday, so that area has swarmed in the past. And sometimes those swarms can get pretty intense. Let's see, Hawaii, not a whole lot within the last hour, and actually not a whole lot today so far. Just a little activity up around the summit of Mauna Loa. Let's check out the hazard notification system here from the USGS in regards to the Mauna Loa. Oh, actually doesn't look like it's out yet. This is from yesterday. And I'm a little early with my update, so that's not going to work. We will check out, though, the live data and see what we got for seismic activity out here around the Mauna Loa area. Stand by for just a second. Pretty cool site to check out for GPS, gas emissions, and seismic activity. And over the past 12, it always does that. Got to figure out why. It's like, I don't understand that. Over the past 12 hours, goodness, definitely some activity kicking up here at the Mauna Loa volcano on the Big Island. A lot of it definitely localized. So maybe it looks like they're putting some of the earthquake reporting on pause. But that is the last 12 hours there around the summit of Mauna Loa area. All right, let's see what else we got. Tremor last night was pretty minimal, about 6 epicenters of tremor along the Cascadia. The Cascadia sits offshore of Northern California, extends all the way through the Pacific Northwest offshore, and ends right about the northern end of the Vancouver Island ranges. And that area is capable of producing a 9.0 earthquake, maybe a little bit greater. It's been, last one was 1700, so 322 years of stress buildup. Regular intervals, depends on who you're talking to, whether it's a USGS or a couple other geologists, range from roughly about 250 to 500 years. And that is for a a full rupture. This thing's capable of producing a partial rupture too, with the southern half producing probably about an 8.5 or so of with that little section there. So either way, definitely a lot of strain building up. There's a couple areas where we're kind of scratching our head wondering how come these haven't gone yet. So each day that goes by is a day that, well, it's that much closer, I suppose, to the big one. Volcanic seismicity, we'll go ahead and check out Mount Rainier today, see what we got up there. Nothing really showing up. Looks like one earthquake there yesterday, a little 0.6. But far as seismic activity goes, let me see if this one's working here. Sometimes these seismographs go on and offline. All right, what do we got here? Oh, there we go. Definitely some localized earthquake activity. Again, over the last few hours, the previous day looks about the same. Looks like some wind events coming in there a night or so ago. But yeah, this area has definitely been showing some little seismic activity. I don't believe it's volcanic whatsoever. Just definitely some very, very small microquake activity and kind of continuous in that region as well. All right, space weather, kind of kicking up here a little bit. We did have a unexpected G1 class storm. Now the for whatever reason, the KP index here chart is not really working there on that level. Over here it is. But we did see a G1 class storm kick up. Not for sure what's going on with these charts here. They're a little bit off. Actually, one of these looks like it could be a G2 class storm coming in here. But auroras definitely likely there on the dark side of this planet here that we live on, Earth. Up around Russia, looks like maybe into Greenland and Iceland as well. We'll see if that continues. Far as activity goes tonight here on the North American side. By the way, we do have a lunar eclipse. When is that coming in? Is that tonight? I believe that is tonight, if I remember right. Man, I have to check that. I'll cover that a little bit later on this evening in my update. Unfortunately, I think we're going to have some clouds and rain coming in here to California. And if you don't catch it, I'm not going to be able to see another one until about 3 years in 2025. Right around the time when the solar maximum is in full force there, about midsummer 2025. So, yeah, I'll cover that a little bit later tonight. That way I can get some more information on it and report that activity. Not for sure what's going on with this KP index here, but let's see here. Solar X-rays, by the way, I did see that M flare kick off yesterday. Since then, we've still seen a little bit of activity in the C range. I still think there's a likelihood of seeing another M flare. Speaking of that, let me go check out the magnetic fields here and structures. And I don't even know if this site, something seems a little odd with the internet today. Yeah, these two sunspots right here, definitely got to watch these potentially for some further flaring, getting a little complex system set up here with this sunspot. This one's kind of holding steady. I think that one does pose a threat as well, but not quite as much as 3141 there with the complex fields that it harbors there in its magnetic field. 60% chance of a C flare, M flare around 20% chance, and X flare a little elevated today, 5% chance there. So got to watch these sunspots. They are kind of rotating into view. No major coronal holes facing us. There is a visible disk look at the sunspots. A little bit of uptick. And that G1 storm that just came in kind of looks like that was due to a BZ tilt there on the on the interplanetary magnetic field. Notice the separation of the lines here, indicating a lot of southward tilt. KP index here. When was this? Latest 3 hours. Looks like we did have conditions up here around the 5 range. Currently a little bit lower levels right now. But we'll keep checking back on that, and of course report anything that may change out here. Let's see. I think that's about it, folks. Got a chance of some thunderstorms out here in California today, so I'm going to be watching that pretty closely. I may go live if we do get some good storms out here. Alrighty, have a good day. We'll catch you guys a little bit later tonight, and we'll chat about the lunar eclipse. That's I think it's happening tonight here. We'll get some solid info on that, and of course report back. Have a good day, folks. We'll catch you guys a little bit later. Peace out.